All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I know it's been a minute since I've put out a YouTube video. The answer is, or the reason is, I've been lazy. Yes, I get very lazy, and I've been busy. Yeah, some new interesting things been happening, so I've been attending to that. But anyways, I'm back. And so today's gonna be a quick little overview tutorial thingy about how I created this this jingle. So I created a jingle for a company called Voli. And so I'm just gonna walk you through like my thought process and pattern as to how I created this. Okay, so it started with so the client started by telling me the melody, what the melody was, and literally it just started with this, and so this was all I had to go off of. Wait, what did I just mute? Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna mute it like this. Yeah, okay. So this was all I had. This was all she told me. Okay, so because guitar is my first instrument, so it just felt more natural to start with a guitar. I have been learning how to play the piano. I've been playing for about 6 months. But it felt like it sounded like a more complex melody, and so I decided to start with my strength, or my very obvious strength, which is guitar. And so start with that, and then added this rhythm guitar. Just playing around with like chords to see like what would work with this, and then came up with this. So essentially, what that is, it's a very simple progression. It goes six. What key am I in? I think I'm in the key of A. I should probably change this over here. I'll change it later. It's oh yeah, it's also a really good idea to make sure your workstation very easily represents what key you're working in, the time signature, and the tempo. Just so if you ever need that information, you can very easily get it at a quick glance. So anyways, so it's a very simple progression. It's in key of A, and so it goes from a 6 to a 5 to a 4, then a 1, 6 to the 5, then a 4, then a 2, and so on and so forth. However, the piano is playing something slightly different. So when the guitar goes 6 5 4 2, the piano goes 6 5 1 2. So that was a mistake. But I ended up liking the way it sounds. It creates this weird tension harmony thing, and so I like that. So start with guitars, and that was pretty much it. And then we went to the percussive section. So because it's a more Nigerian vibe to it, so we needed more like percussive elements to it. So then I started with, oh, you know what I should have done? I should probably have played what it sounded like first. Don't worry, I'll do that at the end. I'll explain everything and it'll do it at the end. Sorry, new to this YouTube thing. Okay, so I started with this. So this is what I started with. Just this. Very simple. 1 2 1 2. Very simple. 1 2. And then I added a talking drum because why not? It does sound great. And this is what that sounds like. Yep. So very simple. Like, and the trick to coming up with like really groovy percussion sections is, well, I'm not a percussionist, but it's just vibes, man. Not gonna lie, it's just vibes. It's like just playing like random things and like feeling, okay, how does this sound? just doing random stuff like that, I'm kind of like feeling, okay, how does it sound? And then after that, then added very simple kick drum. Very, very, very simple. And then the last thing, not really the last thing, but then I added the shakers. These are just simple Apple loops that I just kind of manipulated to sound kind of like the way I wanted. And so this is what that sounds like. All right, so yeah, so the shakers. So now I'm certain it's starting to have that more African Nigerian vibe to it. And then this was a later addition to the mix, but I'm just gonna play now because we're doing the percussion section right now and just play what that sounds like. But before that, added this drums to kind of like do like a roll in, kind of like a count into the measure that starts the main groove of the jingle. So that's what that sounds like. So it's just a regular acoustic drum kit that I got from Spitfire Audio. I think it was free. No, sorry, I lied. It says a lab drums, but it's actually it's actually a stock Logic plugin called SoCal Drums. One of my favorite drum patches on Logic. And so it's and so I so that was just I needed the crash, and I needed a more something more substantial to play with the talking drum to like introduce the measure. Then snaps, very simple, playing the same thing as the yeah, just 1 2 1 2. That's it, 1 2. Right? That's it. Super simple, super easy, nothing complicated. Then we go over to the piano. So the piano, so after working on the percussive section, I added the piano, because I wanted more chords, and so I added the piano, and what that sounds like is very simple. Yeah, very simple. Very simple. One of my favorite piano plugins. It's softwood pianos from Spitfire Audio. I love it to bits. Love it. Does what it's supposed to do. It's an upright felt piano, and so I like the sound of that. I prefer that to a grand piano. This wasn't free though. I had to buy this. But yeah, so there's that. And then when I play with the electric guitar bus, and then with all the perks, I should probably put all the perks in a bus, but this was a quick thing and I was lazy. Don't be like me. All right, so we end up sounding like this. All right. Okay. So it's starting to have a little bit more body to it. So now the next thing I had to do is the melody that started everything off. I wanted other instruments to play, and so in order to do that, I had to convert that to MIDI. And so I needed to convert that to MIDI. And so this is what that MIDI sounds like. So I'm using two instruments to play the melody. I'm using an Indian flute, and I'm using something called delicate bells. These are all stock Logic sounds. The flute gives it a more tribalistic feel, and the delicate bells just give it a little bit glimmer, just a shimmer on top of it, just to highlight those really high frequencies and help the melody peak out just a little bit more. So I'm gonna play that with the guitar bus and the pianos, but no perk. So let's see what that sounds like. Very, very simple. And then so now this is where the fun comes, where you just like layer like different things to like try to make things sound nice and big. Tubular bells. I think I've spoken about them. Clutch. Love these sounds to bit. So tubular bell. If you're looking for something to come in with an impact, you need to get yourself a tubular bell. And this is what that sounds like. That's it. That's it. Just a nice big heavy gong. Nice big heavy bell. Okay. And then so I added this instrument called the Big Dipper, and then BBC Symphony. This is also from Spitfire Audios. This is also not free. This is a patch that I made with their plugins. And so I made this patch. It's really good. I like it. This is for more this is for more serious string orchestration, but as you can see, I was being lazy. I just did everything on the master channel itself, so everything is playing everything at the same time, which is not how you write strings. But I really like the way the strings sound, and they sound big and they sound in your face. So I just decided to do the lazy way. Because also this is like 30 seconds long. I'm not gonna spend 5 hours on something 30 seconds long. And this was also a free project, so like what I'm trying to say is that it sounds good enough, right? Yeah. Anyways, moving on. So we're gonna play what Big Dipper sounds like. This is a sound I literally recently just discovered on Logic. I like it. It has like a click clacky clanky sound to it. You know what? Let's play. Let's hear what that sounds like. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And then we added with the strings. Now we're getting something a little bit more interesting. Very simple. And so the thing with jingles, you want them to have a beginning in the beginning. You want them to have a beginning, and then you want them to have an end. So you need a definite beginning and you need a definite end. And so that's kind of like a trick with the jingle, because you want it to introduce something, but you don't want it to have a lingering like, oh, what's going on, kind of like unsettling feeling at the end of it, right? Because you want a definite end so that it can introduce whatever is meant to be coming in next. All right, and so the last part I'm going to talk about is the bass guitar bus. Bass guitar, super easy. Bass guitar is one of my instruments it's one of my main instruments. Like pretty much anything guitar is like, I got that kind of like nailed. So bass guitar was, there's nothing any, what am I trying to say? It wasn't really challenging. I did that pretty much at the end because I already kind of like knew what I wanted to do. So the client didn't want me to play the groove throughout, but just kind of wanted me to like play around with the bass guitar and just kind of like just play around. And I was like, I say less. Normally people want me to play the groove over bass guitar because it's like, you're a bassist, play the groove. And I'm like, first of all, I'm a lead guitarist, I play lines. But anyways, so she kind of like wanted me to play the bass guitar like an electric guitarist, and so like, I bet. So that's what I did, obviously within reason. I'm not trying to offend any of my bassists out there. I play groove sometimes too. I try to, as much as possible. Anyways, so I'm gonna play the bass guitar bus and the electric guitar bus at the same time so we can hear what that sounds like. Easy. Okay, so I guess we're pretty much done with everything. I can probably safely just play everything, and then we can kind of like hear what it sounds like. Okay, so this is the measure that we've been working on throughout. So this is what that sounds like. So now, okay, so that was that end. So that was the measure. And so the client said when we're making this that she wanted uh she also wanted it to have like an interesting like beginning and end. And so the only thing I had to go off that was was this, and this is all she sang for me. Pretty much. Voli, voli, voli. Uh, that is hard because it's not in any timing, and so I had to finagle around and like kind of like make things sound, you know, kind of like make them sound as best in time as possible, which is why all of these regions are locked in position because I don't want them to move accidentally because it was a pain to kind of like make them sound the way they do. So yeah, so this is simple, but it starts with me playing a big one. That's it, playing a big one on the piano, and then very simple. I have another piano playing that on a higher register, and then I have my sparkly bells, and I have my flute to give it that tribal aesthetic as well. Okay, and then I have Symphony, BBC Symphony, just kind of like copied and paste, just kind of like playing the one as well. Um, so with strings, you want them to be alive. You want them to breathe. That's the easiest way to like. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the easiest way to make strings like sound good. You make the volume move, make it breathe, because strings are not a stagnant thing, and so that's a very easy way to differentiate from like someone who's a novice writing strings or someone who's an intermediate, someone who's a professional writing strings. Is that you can tell like their strings have motion to them. And then we add obviously clutch, tubular bells, and yeah, I wanted it to come in big at a point. Exactly. To hit with the big bum. And then I have another strings. This intimate strings is also from Spitfire Audio. Love them. So the strings are playing the same thing, but there's a harmony at the end. Everything else is playing a 5, and then this intimate strings is playing a 1. So let's hear what that sounds like. And then last part for the end, I wanted like a big, really deep rumble for like the bass to like carry and let everything shake. And so this is I I spelled it weird. It's meant to be sine moog bass, but I used a C instead of an S because I'm cool like that. Anyways, so let's hear what that sounds like. It's just a bass. It's a stock Logic bass that I've tweaked to kind of like make it sound the way I want. So it has a really aggressive slide, and very slow attack, and so it doesn't have that punchy sound, but more of a stringy, dry sound. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. So it sounds like a mixture of a synth bass and a double bass in a weird way, maybe. Anyways, let's hear what that sounds like. There we go. Exactly. Very simple. And so you combine everything together and you get something that starts off innocent and then grows and becomes big and huge and menacing, right? It's like, I'm here, notice me. So yeah, so that's that. And that's also happening. There's a bunch of automation doing some work just so that things can grow and breathe and I can get that feeling. All right. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And so I'll play through the entire thing just so you guys can actually hear what everything sounds like together, and that would be the end of the video. So I guess I'll just say my salutations now. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like the video, like it. Oh, I'm kidding. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe for more. I'll try to be more proactive and consistent. If I have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, enjoy. I'll catch you guys next time.